welcome back. We're reading the Jehovah's Witness version of the Bible called the New World Translation. I've read it, but I've forgotten so much, so it's good to review it. Alright, let's jump in. We're on Exodus 18, starting on verse 1. Now Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, got to hear about all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, how Jehovah had brought Israel out of Egypt. So Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after sending her away, and her 2 sons, to the name of one of whom was Gershom, because he said, "An alien resident I have come to be in a foreign land," and the name of the other was Eliezer, because, to quote him, "The God of my father is my helper, and that he delivered me from Pharaoh's sword." So we have Eliezer, and we have, where's the other one? Gershom. It's the name of Moses' sons. So Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, and his sons and his wife came to Moses into the wilderness where he was camping, at the mountain of the true God. Then he sent word to Moses, "I, your father-in-law, Jethro, am come to you, and also your wife and her 2 sons with her." At once Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and he proceeded to prostrate himself and to kiss him. And they each one began asking how the other was getting along. After that they went into the tent. What do you mean he prostrated himself? Why would Moses prostrate to his father-in-law? Why didn't he just shake his hand? And Moses went to relating to his father-in-law all that Jehovah had done to Pharaoh and Egypt on account of Israel, and all the hardship that had befallen them in the way, and yet Jehovah was delivering them. Then Jethro felt glad over all the good that Jehovah had done for Israel, and that he had delivered them from the hand of Egypt. Consequently Jethro said, "Blessed be Jehovah, who has delivered you from the hand of Egypt, and from the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of Egypt. Now I do know that Jehovah is greater than all the other gods, by reason of this affair in which they acted presumptuously against them." Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God, and Aaron and all the other older men of Israel came to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before the true God. And it came about on the next day that Moses sat down as usual to serve as judge for the people. And the people kept standing before Moses from the morning till the evening. And Moses' father-in-law got to see all that he was doing for the people. So he said, "What kind of business is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you alone continue sitting, and all the people continue taking their stand before you from morning till evening?" Then Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people keep coming to me to inquire of God. In the event that they have a case arise, it must come to me, and I must judge between the one party and the other, and I must make known the decisions of the true God and his laws." That's interesting. Okay, so this reminds me of, that must be why the Catholic Church thinks a pope is needed. Somebody to act on God's orders. Moses is, in this context of this text, is being the judge. He's interpreting what God wants, right? It sounds like that's where they got the idea for a pope. At this Moses' father-in-law said to him, "It is not good the way you are doing. You will surely wear out, both you and this people who are with you, because this business is too big a load for you. You are unable to do it by yourself." That's an interesting thing. "Now listen to my voice, I shall advise you, and God will prove to be with you. You yourself serve as representative for the people before the true God, and you yourself must bring the case to the true God, and you must warn them of what the regulations and laws are, and you must make known to them the way in which they should walk and the work that they should do. But you yourself should select out of all the people capable men, fearing God, trustworthy men, hating unjust profit, and you must set these over them as chiefs over thousands, chiefs over hundreds, chiefs over 50s, a council, almost like a representative government, chiefs over tens, and they must judge the people on every proper occasion. And it must occur that every big case they will bring to you, but very small case they themselves will handle as judges. So make it lighter for yourself, and they must carry the load with you. Ah, okay. That sounds a lot like a... That's starting to explain a lot of hierarchy and of councils. If you do this very thing, and God has commanded you, you will then certainly be able to stand it, and besides, this people will all come to their own place in peace. Immediately Moses listened to the voice of his father-in-law and did as that he had said. And Moses proceeded to choose capable men out of Israel and to give them positions as heads over the people. Okay. Give them as heads over the people. As chiefs of thousands, chiefs of 100, chiefs of 50s, chiefs of 10s, and they judged the people on every proper occasion. A hard case they would bring to Moses, but every small case they themselves would handle as judges. After that, Moses saw his father-in-law off, and he went his way to his land. Wow, Jethro's throwing down some wisdom. Okay, Exodus 19. Whoa. In the 3rd month after the sons of Israel came out of the land of Egypt, on the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai, and they proceeded to pull away from Rephidim, and to come into the wilderness of Sinai, and to encamp in the wilderness. Okay, we get they're getting in the wilderness. They repeat that a lot. And Israel went camping there in front of the mountain. And Moses went up to the true God, and Jehovah began to call out to him of the mountain, saying, "This is what you are to say to the house of Jacob, and to tell the sons of Israel. You yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, that I might carry you on wings of eagles, and bring you to myself." In Lord of the Rings, there's a scene where Frodo gets rescued by eagles. "And now if you strictly obey my voice, and will indeed keep my covenant, then you will certainly become my special property out of all the other peoples, because the whole earth belongs to me. And you yourselves will become to me my kingdom of priests and a holy nation." A kingdom of priests. And the flip side, the Greeks wanted philosopher kings. "And a holy nation. These are the words that you are to say to the sons of Israel." So Moses came and called the older men of the people, and said before them all these words that Jehovah had commanded him. After that all the people answered unanimously, and said, "All that Jehovah has spoken we are willing to do." Immediately Moses took back the words of the people to Jehovah. At this Jehovah said to Moses, "Look, I am coming to you in a dark cloud, in order that the people may hear when I speak with you." Ah, okay. I think that's an interesting thing to... Why a dark cloud, though? "And that in you also they may put faith to time indefinite." Then Moses reported to the words of Jehovah to the people. Then Moses reported the words of the people to Jehovah. Okay. And Jehovah went on to say to Moses, "Go to the people, and you must sanctify them today and tomorrow, and they must wash their mantles, and they must prove ready for the 3rd day, because on the 3rd day Jehovah will come down before the eyes of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And you must set bounds for the people round about, saying, 'Guard yourselves against going up into the mountain, and do not touch the edge of it. Anybody touching the mountain will positively be put to death. No hands is it to touch him, because he will positively be stoned, or will positively be shot through. Whether beast or man, he will not live. At the blowing of the ram's horn, they themselves may come up to the mountain.'" The ram's horn. Then Moses went down from the mountain to the people, and he set about sanctifying the people, and they engaged in washing their mantles. Accordingly, he said to the people, "Get ready during the 3 days. Do not you men come near a woman." They have to stay away. No booty. "And on the 3rd day, when it became morning, it came about that thunders and lightnings began occurring. and a heavy cloud upon the mountain, and a very loud sound of a horn, so that all the people who were in the camp began to tremble. Moses now brought the people out of the camp to meet the true God, and they went taking their stand at the base of the mountain. And Mount Sinai smoked all over, due to the fact that Jehovah came down upon it in fire. He came down in fire, and its smoke kept ascending like the smoke of a kiln, and the whole mountain was trembling very much. The ancient astronaut theorists assert that this was a space shuttle of extraterrestrial aliens at this point. They cite this. Just fun fact. When the sound of the horn became continually louder and louder, Moses began to speak, and the true God began to answer him with a voice. So Jehovah came down upon Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain. Then Jehovah called to Moses the top of the mountain, and Moses went on up. Jehovah now said to Moses, "Go down, warn the people that they do not try to break through to Jehovah to take a look, and many of them have to fall. And let the priests also who regularly come near to Jehovah sanctify themselves, that Jehovah may not break out upon them." At this Moses said to Jehovah, "The people are not able to come up to Mount Sinai, because you yourself already warned us, saying, 'Set bounds for the mountain and make it sacred.'" However, Jehovah said to him, "Go, descend, and you must come up, you and Aaron with you. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up to Jehovah, that he may not break out upon them." Accordingly, Moses descended to the people and told them. This is a very, very cryptic yet philosophical, puzzling section of the Bible. This right here. Because, wow, the whole, if you get near, you'll get hurt. But see, the ancient astronaut theorists thought the reason why you couldn't get close is because whatever smoke and dust and fumes and everything like that, whatever it was, would get into you. And then they cite this Mayan hieroglyph that shows a guy looking like he's operating some nozzles. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just stating a fact of theory that exists. Wow. Dark. They'd be burned up, but a dark cloud. Wow.